Protestants do not have the priesthood. It means they do not have the divine presence of the Eucharist in their churches. Their churches are not the dwelling place of God. They do not have the sacrament of confession, so they do not have the forgiveness of their sins. All they have is a Bible study.
You see, this right here proves that your religion is a man-made institution because
Jesus was fully man and fully God, so Catholicism is man-made.
priesthood is not something that God, through the apostles, handed down to the church.
Sounds like you haven't read Acts 4:23, where Paul appoints presbyters, which is what the word priest comes from.
You see, Roman Catholics practice something called sacerdotalism, which means that grace or salvation comes through the priesthood and the sacrament.
Baptism is a sacrament, and the Bible tells us that baptism saves us.
That Protestant churches don't have the forgiveness of their sins is condemning.
He said you don't get the forgiveness of sins through that sacrament in the original clip, but of course you edited that part out, and of course you don't. How are you going to get the forgiveness of your sins through a sacrament that you don't partake in? He didn't say you're not going to be forgiven of your sins at all. He said you won't be through that sacrament.
Person that has the ability to forgive sins in a salvific sense is God alone. That was never given to the apostles. Nowhere
Flat out not true. John 20:23.
relationship to God by eating a wafer that somehow magically becomes his flesh and drinking wine that magically becomes his blood.
So just to be clear here, when Jesus said his flesh is true food and his blood true drink, he meant his flesh is like metaphorically food and his blood metaphorically drink. And when people were dying from receiving the Eucharist undiscerningly, they died because they received a symbol wrong.